Today, I'm going to analyze the chord progression for the song Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder from the legendary Beach Boys album Pet Sounds. This song is the epitome of the haunting, sophisticated chord structure and melodies that were spilling forth from Brian during this particular period. Pet Sounds was a huge leap forward for Brian in terms of composition and obviously production. He had taken that obsession with Spector's Wall of Sound, copied it, and sort of personalized it. You know, you can hear the oboe on the verse of I'm Waiting for the Day, or you hear that bass harmonica solo on I Know There's an Answer. Spector wouldn't have done those things, but it was also a leap forward in terms of chord progressions. There were more inversions, which are alternate bass notes. So if I have a C major, the expected bass note is C, but you can also do the 5, G, the 3, E, the dominant 7, B flat. You can do the 4, F. You can do the major 7. There you can do all kinds of bass notes. So he really was the first one to really kind of go hog wild with the bass notes, and the Beatles followed. They didn't do anything as sophisticated as that as far as just sheer complexity, but they were definitely inspired by it. That's well documented. There were also more half diminished chords. There was known as minor 7 flat 5 chords, which is like the 2 of minor. If we're in A minor, the 2 is going to be B half diminished, E7 to 1 is A minor, but the 2 is a minor 7 flat 5. Unlike in major, let's say we're in C major, the 2 is going to be a minor 7, not a minor 7 flat 5. So in C major, the 2-5 is D minor 7 to G7. In A minor, which is the relative of C major, the 2-5 is B minor 7 flat 5, E7. Why am I saying this? Because this is about to come up in the chord progression. So there are more major 6 chords, which are, I call them an androgynous chord, because it basically takes a C major, C, E, G, and its relative minor, A, C, E. See, the 2 C and E are in common, but the only thing is different is G becomes A. What if you did all of them in one chord? You have either a C6, or if I move the bass note, an A minor 7. So those chords are sort of interchangeable. So when I do a C major and then add a 6, it's kind of a C major and an A minor all in one. That's why I called it androgynous. Brian uses that major 6 chord to great effect, and it is androgynous. That's a good word. It made something to me. I can't quite tell which major or minor it's pulling to. It kind of gives you this point of where it could go either way. And in this holiday season, will you help me get my Christmas wish to Santa? I want this channel to get bigger. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell or ring it, whatever they say. Leave some comments, like. Join my Patreon, High Castle Conservatory. It's fun. It's a really weird conservatory. You can't find it anywhere else. There had been plenty of older songs from the Beach Boys which had an uncanny sophistication, such as Warmth of the Sun. Keep an Eye on Summer, Girls on the Beach, and Your Dream Comes True. A lot of good ones. But with Pet Sounds, Brian took it to the next level. The result lies somewhere between jazz, pop, classical, without it really sounding like any of them. You can sort of think of it as pop music, essentially, with a type of classical sophistication that it hadn't seen, but littered with jazzy barbershop quartet chords. Yeah, it's actually really weird. The premise of the Beach Boys entirely is weird, just because most people can't pull off a barbershop quartet, and Brian studied it very meticulously. Don't Talk is a rare Brian Wilson exploration of a minor key, as most of his songs center around major keys, such as F major. He goes to the relative minor on the verse, which is a D minor. So those keys are kind of one and the same, except they approach it from major and from minor. If you don't know what a relative minor is, every major key has a related minor key, which is down a minor third. So F major is related to D minor. And the easier way for the average ear, it's that 50s chord progression. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum. This is major and relative minor. So in this case, it's F major and D minor. But if I was in C, it'd be C, A minor. If I was in G, it'd be G, E minor. So you can do it in all 12 keys. It's not a big deal. Because this song starts on minor, it has a bit of a darker, almost suspenseful vibe to the chords that is a little bit unusual for a Brian Wilson progression. It's not that it sounds like a horror movie or a Hitchcock thriller, but it's a little more moody and tender, a nighttime by the fireplace with my baby type of feeling. Really nice chord progression. You know, Brian's music is not known for its romantic feelings it instills in women. Do you love me? Do you serve? It's more of this juvenile, innocent type of American thing. But this song, it has a tender romance, the lyrics. Ooh, I can hear so much in your sun. But, so my whole point here is that this song is a little bit kind of romantic, and I don't really say that about romance in the sort of man loving a woman by the fireplace at nighttime type of thing. The song kind of, being here with you feels so right. We could live forever tonight. Let's not think about tomorrow. Anyway, this tune almost has an I'll Make Love to You by the Fireplace type of mood that I can't think of any other Beach Boys tune that exhibits such a character. It's not racy, but it's tender, romantic, a bit dark, and dare I say, a bit sexy. Sorry, Brian wrote a sexy kind of song. And that is kind of funny to me, but the song's not comical, but let's dive right in. I'm changing the key from the original. The original, I'm sorry, is an F sharp major. That's a tough key to teach in. And more importantly than that, as I age, I'm 40, am I 47 now? 46, 47? I can't even remember. The voice doesn't go quite as high. So even going down one half step. And it's actually a better key to teach in. I like teaching in the key of F major. F sharp major is a tough key on most instruments. We're going to do it for the sake of my voice, but I'm going to say that it's a better key. Let me explain to you my weird charting system. You can see this sunshine means new key, and anything in a circle is not a chord we're playing, but rather a key. And I have the section labeled verse, and then it says the chords that it's actually playing near the lyrics with the Roman numerals of what number of the key that we're in. So does that make sense? Everything in a circle is a key change. If there's a heart connected to a circle, that means it's flirting with that key. Sometimes Brian implies two keys at once, so that's a pretty cool thing. So I want you to follow along with these chords on the screen. You can download the PDF of this analysis, but the circles and suns above, sun means new key. The circle in general means what key we're in. The heart means we're flirting with two keys at once. And then the chord progressions themselves and the Roman numerals of the particular key that we happen to be in at that moment. All right, let's just dive right in. Verse 1. It starts off with a D minor 7 to a B minor 7 flat 5 over F to a E7. So sometimes you need to use your crystal ball. You don't know what key we're in right away. D minor, you can always assume first that that's the relative minor. So the relative major of this D minor would be F major. So, spoiler alert, it already says we're in F major. But how do I know that already? It already goes to kind of a weird chord progression right away. How do I know that that D minor is not a 2 of C major? How do I know it's not a 3 of B flat major? Well, use your crystal ball. We know the chorus of the song. Sometimes you have to speed ahead to the chorus to know what key we're in. The chorus goes, don't talk, C major. Put your G minor. That's a very clear 5-2 in F major. There's other keys that could be in, but let's just take for granted that we are in F major. And I said before this was an exploration of its relative minor, which of F majors, boom, 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 boom. Remember the 50s chord progression? Boom, F majors, relative minors, D minor 7. That's the first chord of this song. So let's take it right there. We are in F. This is a 6 chord. I can. And it goes up to an 11 note. It's a note that's not even in the chord. It's a beautiful note, though. Ooh, can hear so. B minor 7 flat 5 over F. Much in your sighs. I've done rants on how beautiful this chord is, and no one uses it better than Brian. It's another androgynous chord, kind of like a major 6 chord, but it's a different kind. The main function of a minor 7 flat 5, it's the 2 chord of any minor key. So in this case, B minor 7 flat 5 would mean that down a whole step is the minor key that it's related to. So that's A minor. So B minor 7 flat 5 is the 2 of A minor, and then we see the next chord is the 5 of A minor. And you can see the sun, we switch to the key of A minor and do quite simply a 2-5 in that key. So back to the beginning, we start in F major and do a 6. I can hear. Then we modulate to A minor, but let's not forget that A minor is related to F because the 3 of F is A minor. So this is not a huge key change, but it functionally is because it goes straight to a 2-5 in minor, and there's no way, if you're a jazz musician, that you're not going to consider that some kind of 2-5. So we have 6, D minor 7, which is a 6 of F. I can hear. Right to a 2-5 in A minor, but alternate bass note. Much in your sighs. Then it goes right to another minor 7 flat 5, and what do you know? We changed to the key of D minor. And let's not forget that that was just 6th relative minor of F. So these key changes from F to A minor to D minor, you could almost not call them not key changes because those are all within F, but they do some 2-5s in those particular minor keys. So it kind of says we're in that minor flavor at that moment, if that makes any sense. Once again, top of the song, F major, we go to the 6, D minor 7. I can hear. Immediately to a 2-5 in A minor. So much in your sighs. Then right to a 2-5 in D minor, which has an alternate bass note. I can see. And instead of resolving to D minor 7, it changes the bass note. So much. Brilliant. In your, remember I said that minor 7 flat 5 that Brian uses better than anybody? Eyes. B flat minor 6. Okay, that was freaking amazing. So a 2-5 in A minor, B minor 7 flat 5 to E7 is 2-5 in A minor. And instead of resolving to A minor, which a lot of times you do, it goes straight to a 2-5 in D minor. But instead of resolving to the D in the bass, it pulls the whole thing down to a C and then resolves by changing one single note of a D minor 7. The C falls to B and you have a B minor 7 flat 5. And I said we're still just in F at that point. I could have said something else, but a flat 5 half diminished is a magical note. I went over that in my God Only Knows analysis video. Check that out. That's the most popular video I've ever had on YouTube, so check out that one. The minor 7 flat 5 is a magical note. F major, we have a 6 chord, D minor. I can hear so 2-5 in A minor. Much in your sighs. 2-5 in D minor. I can see. But the bass note pulls down. So much in your magical half diminished chord. Eyes. Now it goes to what you call a 4 minor. 4 is supposed to be major, but it's that song. The time has come, I know. It's in all of pop music where the Beatles do it constantly, the Beach Boys do it. Everyone does that major, 4 major to 4 minor. So 4 minor is that kind of. So instead of resolving to B flat major, it pulls right back down to minor, but we're still in F, so I'm calling that 4 minor. So the 2-5 in D major, E minor 7, flat 5 to A7 sharp 5. Then we're back in F because it resolves to that D minor over C, B minor 7 flat 5, which is that magical flat 5 half diminished, and resolves straight to 4 minor instead of major. Then we go to 1, which is F major, but we do 3 in the bass. Then finally 2. Okay, let me take that back. This chord progression, I mean, there are so many revered people in pop music, whether it's Paul Simon or Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder can do some crazy chords, so I'm not even going to throw him in this conversation, but so many revered people could not pull off a chord progression like this. And yes, I know it's not about, yes, this is so complicated, that's why it's great. But listen, it just sounds great. I can hear so much in your see so much in your eyes. 4 minor. There are words we both can say. He makes you feel like you never left F major by doing that 4 minor. There are, then 1 over its major 3. Words we both could, finally to 2. And it creates a lot of stability. And finally, after that climb down, it goes to what's the chorus. And it does a C major to G minor 7, which is a simple, not 2-5, but 5-2, which is a less common chord progression than 2-5. 2-5's common. 2, 5, 2. But 5 is it happens, but it's a little less common. So what he does is C major, don't talk, butcher, which is 5 to 2, head on my shoulder, kind of stabilizing, because remember how many chords we had initially at the beginning of the verse? It kind of stabilizes by the end there and just does a simple progression. I almost wanted to call that chord, instead of C major, C7, or even C9, which would sound like this. Don't talk, put your head, but it gives away that vocal note. I don't like it to give away the vocal note of don't. It's a tension note, which is 9. Don't talk. It's better to not give that note away. Don't. It functions as 5, so it could be a C7. It could be a C9. It could be a C13, but it's just better as a C major. So very simple. We went from complex to simple. So the verse goes 5-2. And 5's not even dominant except as implied. It's C major. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. Again, 5-2. Don't talk, close your eyes and be still. And finally, it stays in F, but it kind of flirts with the key of A flat and goes to what I call the flat 7 dominant. The flat 7 dominant of F is E flat 7. That's not even in the key, but I've talked before how magical the flat 7 in my wonderful analysis video from the Beach Boys' Smile. So from any major key, it has a magical relationship to the flat 7, which so in the case of F, it would be E flat. Rock music is based on that relationship, but let's remember E flat is not in the key of F, so it's a weird relationship. So in this case, it's going 5-2. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. A couple times. Don't talk, close your eyes and be still. Now goes to magical flat 7, flirting with A flat, but we're still in F. We're doing flat 7 dominant. Don't talk, which resolves to that 4 minor. Take my hand, but adds a 6 to it. Instead of just a minor chord, it's a 6. And listen to my... Stays on that B flat minor 6. And it resolves on F, but over C. Listen how brilliant that is. You could have done beat and resolved to F, and the F in the bass, but instead he goes F over C. It's really nice. I mean, I just feel bad for other musicians, including myself, writing chord progressions. It's just like Brian Wilson does some game over stuff. I mean, there's other people that do good stuff, but it's just really good. So it goes to the second verse. Nothing different about the second verse. It just does the same thing, different set of lyrics, but let's reiterate it. We're in the key of F major, and we go to 6. It's relative minor. And an immediate 2-5 in the key of A minor, which is the 3 of F major. With you feel so, but F in the bass, right. Now it does a 2-5 in D minor, but with a different bass note. We can live. The bass pulls down now. Forever to in mastery. 9. 4 minor. Let's not think about tomorrow. Then it goes 5-2 in F major. 5. Don't put your head on my shoulder. Come close, close your eyes and be still too. Now the magical relationship to the flat 7 dominant of F major, which is E flat 7. Don't talk. Then to the 4 minor. Take my hand and stays that F over C. Listen, listen. Now it goes. It goes straight to a weird 2-5 in C major, but an odd bass note. Listen. See, that's just D minor 7 to G7. It's just. Oh. But you hear how much you can change it just by putting that F in the bass? Listen, listen. D minor 7. Listen. G7 over F. C over G, which is 1 of C. This is flat 6 of C. Now we're going to go 5 minor of C. Now we're going to go dominant. That C7 flat 9 is really the dominant, a 5 of F. Now we're back in F. 1 over its 3. 4 minor, which keeps coming back. Now 5, but they suspend the 3rd. Anyway, one more time, that's a weird bridge, and let's remember that's a string, I don't know if it's a quartet or a string section that's doing those chord voicings, but F over C, we keep that tension of that. Listen, listen. Now the key of C major, 2-5, but listen. Still in C, we got 1 over its 5. Now flat 6 major. Now we're kind of in the original key of F, and we do a C minor 9 to C7 flat 9, which is 5 of F. Then we go to 1, which is F over A. 4 minor to 5, but suspend the 3rd. Then back to the chorus. Don't talk. 5 to 2. Put your head on my shoulder. Don't talk, close your eyes. And it just keeps repeating. It doesn't do that flat 7 dominant thing. It fades out. It takes the easy way out of a pop song. You know, fade outs are awesome. I love them just as much, but you're never gonna, listen to the fade out and be like, man, that song arranger really nailed that. That was an interesting idea. I mean, I've faded out lots of music before. So I want to talk about one more thing in this song, and those bass lines, they're not just random notes like, oh, it's such a cool alternate bass note. They're melodies within themselves. So if we go D minor 7, I can hear, he could have done B to E, so much in your side, but he thought it'd be better to go D to B minor 7 flat 5 over F, which is its flat 5, so much in your side. And the E minor 7 flat 5, instead of going to E and staying on that E, he goes to B flat. Ooh. Now this, D over C. Ooh. Instead of ooh, we go to ooh. One of the best bass notes ever is minor 7 or dominant 7. So once again, the bass goes ooh. Just the bass. Pay attention to the bass. Yeah, the bass is wild. Sorry. What the hell? Yeah, the bass is wild, and so is that bridge. And in this holiday season, will you help me get my Christmas wish to Santa? I want this channel to get bigger. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell or ring it, whatever they say. Leave some comments, like. Join my Patreon, High Castle Conservatory. It's fun. It's a really weird conservatory. You can't find it anywhere else. Check out my group High Castle Tele Orchestra, buy our album The Egg That Never Opened. It's a really, really good album, and it actually showcases all the ideas I teach in my channel kind of in action. So check out that record. Anyway, subscribe below, hit the notification bell, keep watching this video and learn the rest of the song. Ooh, being here with you feels so high. We'll live forever tonight.